Okay, so here we are again doing another sketch. Oh, wow, look at that. I made it exactly on time this time. Go me. I was a little worried I'd be a little bit late since I had to get my new cup of coffee. So I just discovered that this month is actually February, as in a fairy, which if you follow me, you know I'm all about everything that's kind of like fantasy or time period, fairy tales, things like that. So I'm pretty excited, and today I'm going to be drawing a fairy. What kind of fairy? I don't know yet. I guess I will figure that out as it happens. That was last time's. This is a new sketchbook, which is why it's so close to the beginning. Yeah, I also decided to put these flowers here. They got given to me at my engagement shower a couple days ago, and I absolutely love them. They have these like little thistles in here and whatever the heck this is called. I don't know. I can't remember. But I'm a really big fan. I really like these kind of like unstructured flowers. It's really pretty. It has like this orchid in here as well. Love it. So yeah, I guess I'll just get to it. I don't really know what else to say about that. Is the flower covering the... Move it back a little. Make sure you can actually see what I'm doing. Yeah, so I was pretty excited that it was February when I was just scrolling through my Instagram feed. I forgot all about it. I first heard about February last year, and somehow I completely forgot about it this year. So I wrote about it in my day planner so that I won't forget next time. What a missed opportunity for last time. Could have drawn a fairy. Not that I mind. I liked my little, I don't know, cannonball person. I don't know what I would call that. It's just a fun pose with the hair and the foreshortening of the legs. It was something good to work on. A lot of things that I don't think I actually do in most of my drawings, since I tend to do a lot of portraits, or when I'm working on the comic that I do, I mean, there's a lot of action or movement, but it's mostly mermaids, so there's not a lot of legs that I'm practicing. So it was good to work on that for a bit. I find when I'm drawing legs now, because I draw so many mermaids, that's kind of like, how long should the legs be? Because obviously fins are a different proportion than a leg. Kind of like what I'm doing right now. I don't know how this happened. It looks weird. Yeah, so this is a new thing for me. I don't like the idea of people kind of watching me sketch, because I make a lot of mistakes. Let me tell you, like a ton. Also, I'm always afraid that people are going to be like, what the heck are you drawing? That doesn't look like anything. But I want to, get out of my shell and actually practice things, get better at things, grow, become more confident in myself as an artist and my capabilities. So the only way to do that really is to actually push yourself outside your comfort zone and do things. So here I am doing exactly that. Not just doing the same old thing and hoping for to feel differently, because that doesn't make any sense. I need to try new things, do new things, and that'll be the only way for me to get different results. Yeah, so right now I'm just like sketching out the general shape of what I want. It's nothing too exciting right now, if we're being honest. You know, I was gonna do this fairy with long hair, because I am a really big fan of long hair, but I have actually been, okay, this is a little bit of a guilty pleasure. I am obsessed with anime. Like, completely obsessed. And I have been watching The Promised Neverland, and let me tell you, that show is insane. It hits every mark for me. It has drama, it has surprise, it has things you would never expect. So because of that, I'm going to give this little pixie a hairstyle that's similar to Emma's, as a little ode to Emma. I don't like the way that is facing. It looks weird. Because she's pretty much amazing, and if I was how old is she? I think she's like 10 or 11. I would want to be her. In her situation, obviously. There's no reason for me to be her in my life. But, you know. I don't know if anybody here's watched it. If you don't like anime, I don't recommend it. But if you do, and you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. Yeah, so I'm honestly, during this, I'm just going to randomly talk about whatever pops into my head. If there's anything specific that people want to... The most positive 12-year-old in the world. Yeah, she is. Seriously, like, and it makes no sense. Like, literally, it makes no sense. I love her. She's great. She kind of makes me think of Peter Pan, actually. It's probably just the red hair. And the fact that I am already thinking about it because the title says something about Neverland. Yeah, so if there's anything specific that people want to ask me or talk to me about, I can also respond to that, because the rest of this is just going to be me babbling about whatever comes to my mind. Some of it will be art related when I think of it. Do I have a reference? Yes, I do have a reference just off to the side for just like arms and things. But then the rest of it is, this is just like a picture of this little girl standing. And then I'm just making the rest of it up. Sometimes I use references, sometimes I don't. I find because I am more nervous filming myself and on camera, I do use a reference because I know that if I'm going from my head, I'll freak out and then it'll just be like some sort of crazy mess. And so just to avoid that awkward moment for myself and whoever happens to be here watching, I thought I would just use a reference and save us all from that really embarrassing thing. Actually, you know what? That would probably be very entertaining for you guys. But for me, it would be mortifying. So I just preemptively used a reference. Of course, now I'm getting to the point where I have to try and come up with, like, is she gonna wear clothes, or is she gonna be like some sort of weird mutant thing? I don't know. So much to think about when maybe I should like pick a flower and look at a type of flower and design her outfit off that. That might be a good idea. Yeah, right? It's just like, I think after I get more used to it, I'll be able to not be so nervous. You know, I'll be more confident and be like, yeah, this is just like another regular day, business as usual. But right now if I can foresee that something might be a problem, I would rather avoid the problem if I can. Only downside to this reference photo that I have is there are no feet. I can't see her feet, so this I'm gonna have to make up on my own. It's part of why this foot was so weird when the sketching. That's okay, it's not my first time drawing a foot. And also it's a sketch, so it doesn't have to look super great. It just needs to be the essence of a foot. Okay. Okay, I should pick a flower. Oh, what about you guys? What's a flower, do you think? I can look up that flower and then use it for inspiration. It doesn't have to be a flower. It can also just be like a plant or a tree. Like you could say willow tree or whatever. Maple tree, moss, whatever. Just flora of some sort. No? Nothing? I think the most obscure one my brain came up with just now was algae. I don't know how that would work. Oh, thistle. Yeah, that's a great idea. I'm gonna look that up. Let's see some pictures of some thistles, because there are many types of thistles. This is the one that we have that grows here. In Scotland, they have different kinds of thistles. They have like 50 different kinds of thistles that just grow. It's pretty crazy. Which I only know because I went there and happened to fall in a space that had so many different kinds of thistles. And I was like, wow, they are all really sharp. Well, make sure this drawing is more centered. Sorry. Okay, let's see. So we have this guy here. Let's go. I know. I'm gonna go like this. Light sketch first. No, you know what? I don't like it. It's too long. She feels like she would be kind of disheveled and kind of a mess. But also I kind of want to give her like a tutu, like a ballerina. Okay, so that's gonna look like that. Start filling this out a bit. Okay. So because I'm going to be filling this out a little bit, I'm going to just erase the darkness of these lines. So the only dark lines I have are actually the perimeter. That way the edges actually show up better. I'm kind of trying to give it this like spiny leaf like this one right here. I personally am a big fan of thistles. They are the national flower of Scotland. I think that's really great. The national animal of Scotland, however, is much more exciting because it is the unicorn. And that is not a joke. That is actually real information. You go, Scotland. Because this one is behind her wing, I'm going to do it a little bit lighter, just to kind of give that illusion. Some of them are going to have to go in front of her wing, so I'm just going to erase that. No, because I don't want her to be like flashing everybody. I'm just gonna give her like almost like bike shorts. I don't know, I feel like she's a tomboy. But also she likes tutus. I feel like she is kind of just, she needs to She marches to the beat of her own drum. That's what I'm trying to say. Oh yeah, she does have like a Tinkerbell vibe going on. I'm gonna give her like there are these thistles that are like super round. So I want to give her like one of those on her shoulder. Cute. And then I'll just make this part of her outfit like, I don't know, fabric or leaves or something, because it can't be all spiny. That doesn't make sense. Because the spiny part of the thistle is the flower head. You like how I'm trying to use logic here? I'm a little bit of a weirdo. Give her a choker. She seems like the kind of person who would want a choker. There we go. And she definitely needs messy hair. Nobody that's covered in thistle would have tidy hair. Okay, that looks like a peacock. I hate that. Okay, so now because most of this is done, I'm going to be just kind of going over adding the darkness to my outer lines just to make the image more clear, and also, if I think of it, more little details like these little shoelace things here, because I feel like it just adds a little something. So I'm just going to clear up these lines. So anywhere where I want to make a distinct separation is where I'm going to make the lines significantly darker. So like here, because you see how this kind of all blends together, it doesn't have any depth. So here I'll be making a darker line, just like that, just to give it that depth and show that separation. This is probably all stuff that I said last time I did this. If so, I apologize. I'm probably going to be repeating myself a lot. mostly because I don't know if there's new people here, and also because I really am just doing the same things as last time when it comes to this part of the drawing process. It's not really new and exciting. Sketching is quite repetitive, if we're being honest. So I'm doing the same thing with the skirt, because I want that outline to be really clear and pop so that people can actually look at it and clearly see what's what, and not just have it be a whole bunch of graphite lines. Because if that's the case, then nobody's going to be able to tell what it is that I drew or what goes where. I mean, I guess that doesn't really matter because this is just my sketchbook. But that was my sister.
Sorry.
She sneezes like a little mouse, and it's hilarious. I'm in the dining room, so she's just in the kitchen grabbing some coffee. Which I have, but as you can see, I have not really drunk any of it because I've been really into this.
I want to make more coffee, but that would require me grinding.
You can make more coffee when I'm done. She's disappointed because I'm here and she doesn't want to put on the grinder because it's too loud. That's what we get for not having pre-ground beans, I guess.
They're better if you grind them fresh.
I know they're better if you grind them fresh, but it's noisy. Oh, Allie. She is also an artist, so. What? Now I have to make the coffee. I mean, I guess that's fair. Yeah, so, yeah, my sister's also an artist, and so are my aunts. So is my sister's boyfriend. We collect artists everywhere we go, apparently. What's she gonna do? All of our styles are very different, though, so that's nice. Just adding some interest to the wings because they seem a little boring. Try and mimic the essence of the pattern. Into the other one back here. Okay. Now, this is a very unnecessary step, but I like adding a little bit of shading. Personally, I just feel like it adds a little something to the drawing. I feel like it looks a little flat when there's no shading. Usually I'm better at shading the hair. I did an exceptionally bad job of this blend line right here. That's a little embarrassing, but what you gonna do? The trick to not get lines like that, I know what the trick is. The trick is to kind of like lift your pencil when you're coming to the end so that you don't get a harsh line on the end, so that it just kind of like blends into each other. I didn't do that. So that's why I got that line. Now I'm going to be adding, to give depth to the hair and not just have it be flat, I go the opposite direction where I want more shading to be, give kind of a crosshatch, like so. It's pretty straightforward. Face. I don't like to overly shade the face. Oh, I really don't like that I shaded her lips. It makes her look like she's a zombie or something. So I'm going to undo that. Yeah, I was pretty excited. It was like the day after I did the first one of these this month that I just stumbled across the fact that it was February, and I was like so disappointed in myself because I was like, no, I could have drawn a fairy, because I love drawing fairies. I've been drawing fairies since the day I could draw. I mean, they were mostly just like giant circles with wings because I was a child. But oh, darn. But you know, I'm obsessed with fairies. I love them. There is still a part of me that's like, fairies are real, and I cannot say they aren't because they will die. No joke. I want them to be real. I think it might be the Scottish part of me that believes in these things and wants to. Probably. Just want to make sure her face is very, like, it stands out, obviously, because that's one of the most important parts of the drawing. Okay. Ta-da! Here is my thistle fairy. Turned out pretty great, if I do have to say so. Here's my little thistle. And that's all. I'll be posting her on my Instagram as per usual. And then I'll be back in another 2 weeks and doing something else. What month is it next? It's March. I don't think there's any drawing challenges in March that I'm aware of, so it'll be something random. I guess we'll see. Okay, thanks for hanging out and drawing with me.